What if everything we know about the fallen angels is incomplete? What if on the day heaven passed judgment, something unexpected happened? Not every name was treated the same. Not every fate was identical. Because among the condemned watchers, one name may have stood apart, Sariel, and according to ancient traditions, his story does not follow the same ending. And what did he do that may have changed everything? Before we begin, if you're drawn to forgotten biblical mysteries and hidden angel stories, subscribe to Epic Bible Stories, because most of these stories were never meant to be widely known. And what you're about to hear is one of the strangest of them all. Now, back to the main story. Before the flood, before Noah, before judgment fell on the earth, there was another judgment already forming in heaven. Ancient texts describe beings called the Watchers, angels sent to observe mankind, to guide humanity, to maintain divine order. But something changed. A decision was made, and heaven was crossed. They descended to earth, not as observers, but as participants. And what followed was the beginning of mankind's corruption. But among these beings, one name appears differently in scattered traditions, Sariel, and that difference is where the mystery begins. At Mount Hermon, 200 watchers gathered. No turning back, no hesitation, no return to heaven. They made an oath that sealed their fate. The leader was Semjaza, surrounded by powerful beings whose names echo through ancient writings. Teachers of forbidden knowledge, shapers of hidden sciences, destroyers of balance. And Sariel was among them. But here is where things become unclear, because Sariel's name does not behave like the others. It appears, then fades, as if his story was never fully settled. Once on Earth, the Watchers began teaching humanity what was never meant to be revealed. Weapons of war, astrology, enchantments, hidden sciences of power. At first, it looked like advancement, but something darker was growing underneath. Violence increased. Kings rose through bloodshed. Civilization twisted, and the earth began collapsing into moral chaos. But ancient fragments suggest something unusual. One area of knowledge linked to celestial order is often associated with Sariel: time, heavens, divine cycles, and judgment, which raises a disturbing question. Was Sariel shaping corruption, or observing something else entirely? Some traditions describe Sariel differently from the others, not as a destroyer, but as one connected to heavenly order. Before the descent, he is sometimes described as a watcher of divine balance, a recorder of human actions, a being tied to judgment and truth, almost as if his role existed between heaven and earth, not fully among rebels, yet not fully separate either. And this contradiction creates the mystery. Was he truly part of the rebellion, or caught inside something far more complex? As years passed, the consequences became impossible to ignore. Violence spread everywhere. Human hearts hardened. Entire civilizations collapsed into chaos. And something new appeared. The Nephilim, beings that amplified destruction and fear. Humanity was no longer progressing. It was unraveling. And heaven, according to ancient texts, watched in sorrow. But not all watchers responded the same way. Some remained proud, unchanging. Others began to see what they had done. And Sariel is said to be among those who saw it first. Imagine realizing that everything you helped create is now destroying what you once believed you were improving. Some traditions suggest Sariel reached this moment. Not pride, not denial, but awareness. The destruction, the suffering, the irreversible damage. And suddenly, what looked like knowledge now looked like corruption. And what looked like progress now looked like collapse. But what Sariel did next is where the story shifts completely. Unlike the others, some traditions claim Sariel did something unexpected. He turned, not toward rebellion, not toward resistance, but toward mercy. He acknowledged the destruction. He recognized the judgment coming. And instead of defending himself, he appealed to something higher. Divine mercy, not power, not escape, just mercy. And if this account is true, it makes him the only watcher linked to restoration, instead of complete judgment. But that raises another question. What does restoration even mean for a being like him? Because whether Sariel's story is literal, symbolic, or something in between, the message remains consistent. Knowledge without wisdom leads to ruin. Pride always leads to collapse. And every choice, no matter how hidden, still carries consequences. But hidden inside this ancient narrative is another possibility. That recognition can come before total destruction. That awareness can break pride. And that mercy and justice may not be opposites after all. For thousands of years, the story of Sariel has remained in the shadows of ancient tradition. A story of rebellion, judgment, and something that almost no one can fully explain. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Sariel was truly shown mercy? Or is this simply a forgotten symbolic lesson? Tell us in the comments. And if you want more hidden biblical mysteries like this, subscribe to Epic Bible Stories, because the next story may be even more controversial than this one, and you won't want to miss it. Thank you for watching.